Hi Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope for November 2024. Thanks for joining me. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and watch them in this order please. Rising sign first, then sun sign, and finally moon sign. So I'm going to break the month down into 4 weeks, and I'm going to pay particular attention to what the moon is doing, which one of your houses it's moving through, and how that influences you throughout the month. So week 1, Friday the 1st until Sunday the 10th of November. First 3 days, we have the moon in Scorpio, so in your sign, and it's in your first house of self. So on the 1st of November specifically, we have a new moon in Scorpio. I've made a separate video on that. Have a look if you're interested. But the key thing here is that it happens in your first house of self. So your energy is being pulled in. And a new moon is really when the moon is getting its bearings and saying, okay, what seeds of intention do I want to plant in this next 28-day cycle? What is most important to me? What do I care about? What do I want to manifest? And what do I want to heal and transform and clear out, right? So the beginning of the month for you, Scorpio, is really a wonderful opportunity to kind of feel very solid ground under your feet and to say, I am really looking at everything that's going on. I'm getting organized. I'm getting on top of it. I'm taking control of things. So that I have a really easy time in November, because you're starting from this real position of power and clarity, and you're really clear on what's important and what isn't. So there's less likelihood for you to waste your energy. Also, with all the water in the first 3 days of the month, anything that revolves around healing or using your creative abilities through writing, painting, making music, or its connection to the higher realms, spirituality, anything like that, if you're interested in any of those things or all of them, the first 3 days of the month really allow you to kind of break through and to make a genuine connection. On the 2nd of November, we have Mercury, the communication planet. It moves out of Scorpio in your first, and it ingresses into Sagittarius in your second house of money. And Mercury is the way you see things. It's direct at the moment. It goes retrograde on the 25th of November at the end of the month. So with it moving into your second, you can really get your finances sorted out, and you can really make a plan for the future. So, if you have outstanding bills, or you want to create a 5-year plan so that you can put a deposit down on a house, it's that kind of thing, making a long-term plan for what's coming up and setting a particular goal. At the end of that, you'll be able to set that down very clearly and also commit to it. Then on the 4th and 5th, the moon also goes into Sagittarius, and it joins Mercury in your second house. So the moon is your heart. Sagittarius is the centaur, which is always pointing at one thing in particular with his bow and arrow. He then gallops towards it. So for you to make a plan as far as your circumstances, your securities, your finances, your career is concerned, beginning of the month is really ideal for this. And then on the 4th of November, Mars, the planet of masculinity and drive, it goes into Leo, and it hops out of your 9th house and into your 10th house of career. So Mars is ambition, and in Leo, it's very happy. It's in another fire sign. And Leo is about leadership and being in the spotlight and taking charge of things and running with them. So with Mars moving into your 10th house and going into Leo, it really supports you as far as your work is concerned all month. So if you want to make a good impression, if you want to use social media to attract attention, if you want to put yourself in the spotlight, any Scorpio who operates in that realm, you'll find it really easy, and that you make a huge amount of progress, particularly if the point is to make a lot of noise and to get a lot of attention. On the 6th and 7th, the moon goes into Capricorn, and it goes into your 3rd house of communication. And the moon in Capricorn is in that 3rd house, it's very black and white. So it makes everything seem incredibly simple, because there's either a right answer or a wrong answer. So anything that requires you to travel or transport things from A to B, and you may think this is a strange thing to consider, but anything that involves you working with communication, the media, social media, you can really hammer that on the 6th and 7th and make a huge amount of progress. So again, if your work is with the public specifically, you'll be able to make a great number of inroads into the amount of people you can reach, and really being hardworking and practical about implementing your ideas. On the 8th and 9th, the moon then goes into Aquarius in your 4th, and that's a really good time to spend with a family and to connect with people who are close to you, who've known you for a long time, and maybe even to discuss certain things that you're planning for the future to get other people's feedback, and you'll get some good suggestions there. It's also a time of harmony. So if you're thinking of going to see friends or family, the 8th and 9th are ideal, I would say. On the 8th particularly, that's when the moon is in its second quarter and it's waxing. So it's a real openness and a willingness to learn and to communicate and to see the other person's point of view. And then in this first 10 days of the month, on the 10th, the moon goes into Pisces, and that's in your 5th, and that's very romantic. So if you're interested in making new connections or spending time with your partner, the 10th is really ideal. And not just the 10th, the moon stays in Pisces also on the 11th and 12th. Those 3 days are great for love and romance. So in the first 10 days, let's see, the moon goes from your first house of self to the 5th house. So it's pretty much the whole of the bottom half of the chart, which is really your home life, your roots, what makes you feel secure and safe. And in this case, it's working with communication, but also who loves me? Who do I feel connected to? Who can I communicate with? So those are the things that really support you here in the first 10 days. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 11th to 17th of November. On the 11th and 12th, the moon is in Pisces, like I mentioned a moment ago, so great for those romantic connections. On the 11th, also, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty, new beginnings, creativity. That goes into Capricorn, again, into your 3rd house of communication in the sign of the worker, Capricorn. So, career-wise, you're really supported. In terms of productivity, you're really supported. So it's quantity and quality in your work. And there's the opportunity to build really wonderful memories as far as your love life is concerned. So it's all systems go. It's not going to be boring in any way. And the busier you can make yourself, the more positive experiences you can have in this month. On the 13th and 14th, the moon goes into Aries in your 6th house. So that really fires you up again in terms of getting things done, being very hands-on. On the 15th and 16th, romance is back on the menu. That's the theme again. Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? So it's about beauty and sensuality and connection. But particularly on the 15th of November, we have a full moon in Taurus. That happens in your 7th house of relationship. On top of Uranus in Taurus, so something miraculous can happen in your love life, like meeting the right person, right? And it's not just a full moon, it's a super moon, so it's closer to the Earth, it'll look bigger, it'll have even a stronger influence. But then you've got something kind of spooky happening as well. Saturn, the planet of structure and security, that goes direct in your 5th house of what you love to do work-wise, but also love, romantic, love who you love. So I think that around the 15th of the month, Scorpio, if you're single, it's the opportunity to really meet the person you've been looking for. If you're in a relationship already, it's an opportunity to really have a wonderful romantic couple of days to get really close to your partner. Then the moon goes into Gemini on the 17th, and that's in your 8th house of the authorities, institutions, and it's on top of Jupiter. So if you have to deal with bureaucracy, paperwork, legal things, taxes, probates, inheritances, house sales, purchases, this time, the 17th, where the moon is in Gemini, it's a really good time to problem solve and to find another way forward. And also to slip through the doorway and to be done with the situation. And also on the 17th, Uranus opposes the sun. Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus is the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected, right? And it's fully illuminated by the sun, and it's the best night of the year to see it in the night sky. And the sun is in Scorpio in your 1st house. Uranus is in Taurus, the sign of money, in your 7th. And then that Jupiter and the moon in your 8th, I think expect some good news via an outside official source around your money or your securities, or some sort of process that may have stalled that's now completed unexpectedly and miraculously. So the moon moves through houses 6, 7, and 8 in week 2, and that's really work and the relationships you have with colleagues and and people you know in the outside world, acquaintances, but also your relationships to these institutions and coming to some sort of happy outcomes, happy agreement. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, 18th to 24th of November. The moon is still in Gemini on the 18th, so those kind of positive news as far as your connections to organizations are concerned. On the 19th and 20th, the moon moves into Cancer, and that's interesting because I think you'll receive some information which really makes things better. It makes you feel taken care of. It may just make you feel seen or heard or appreciated, or it may be good news again via your work. On the 19th, Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, that goes out of Capricorn in your 3rd. It hops over your IC into your 4th house of family, and it goes into Aquarius. It stays in Aquarius until 2044 now. So that's really good news because it's not this perspective that everything needs to be really difficult and I have to hammer it to make any kind of progress. It's now being open to other ideas, working collaboratively, and having an easier time of it as far as making progress is concerned and getting your point across. And particularly progress in your work, your career, and the direction you eventually see yourself going into. On the 21st and the 22nd, and with that as well, I mean people, you know, if you're a student or if you're retired, it's what you're working on or what you're working towards in life. It doesn't just have to literally be work. On the 21st and 22nd, the moon then does go into Leo, and it goes into your 10th house of career again, and it sits next to Mars in Leo, which is still firing you up and motivating you and making it really easy for you to influence other people and to lead others. So expect a good time in your working life on the 21st and 22nd. Also on the 21st, we have the sun going into Sagittarius, and it goes into your 2nd house of money. So that's the big blessing here of the month. Again, it's I feel like good things are happening in my work, in my finances, and on a completely different area of my life. Romantic relationships are working too. So really, Scorpio, this looks like an amazing month, and you can have these wonderful experiences that you may have been longing for a long time, and now suddenly they're here. 22nd of November, the moon is in its 4th quarter and it's waning. So I expect some good news around your work, or to get a positive response from something that you're presenting. The moon then goes into Virgo on the 23rd and the 24th, and that's in your 11th house. And that's a good time to kind of stop for a moment and to look around and to say, what has worked in the last few weeks? What is it that I want to perfect or to heal? And also, if things are going really well, then again, can I spend time with friends, doing things as a group that are fun and enjoyable and not designed to create some sort of results, but that are just fun and allow me to be in the present moment. So week 3, it's again really about career and looking at where you want to go in that area of your life and trying to maximize all this energy you've got, taking risks, pushing things, trying to have this breakthrough. If you're really kind of focused on attaining something or accomplishing some sort of a big goal here, throw everything you've got at it in week 3, and you can really have an unexpectedly big and positive result. And then finally, week 4, Monday to Saturday, the 25th to the 30th of November. The moon's in Virgo on the 25th. So same as the 23rd and 24th, that's extended. Also on the 25th, we have Mercury, the communication planet. That goes retrograde until the 15th of December. So the communication planet, when it appears to go backwards, it makes it more complicated when it comes to communication and transportation. And with it being in your 2nd house of money, now anything around money or career planning, put that on hold and leave it until the 15th and try and do as much of that kind of stuff before the 25th as possible, because now it really comes to a bit of a halt. The moon goes into Libra on the 26th and the 27th, and that's a wonderful time for connection to the higher realms, creativity, healing. And then on the 28th, 29th, and 30th, the moon goes into Scorpio, again, in your sign, back where it started. It's a 28-day cycle, right? So at the end of the month, this is a time to just really feel really, really encouraged by the amount of progress you've made in November. And I think it's the best kind of opportunity to celebrate yourself and to do something lavish or super enjoyable that you wouldn't usually do. I think you're going to have an amazing month. Let me know how you get on. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. But before I tell you about that, the houses the moon goes through in the final week of the month are houses 11, 12, and 1. So that's the very left-hand side of your chart. And it's really about, I'm so satisfied in this final week of November with all the progress that I made that I feel like I've transcended my circumstances and I'm off and running and on to bigger and better things. So you should really give yourself a round of applause by the end of November. You're going to do great things for yourself. So if you'd like me to look at your chart, please do get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. To draw it up, I just need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me as well, please. That's a process where I work it out. And then I can draw up your chart and answer any questions around love or finances or moving, locations, what's coming up in future, anything at all. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please, so it shows up in searches. Hit subscribe for more videos and share it with anyone who you think might enjoy it. That's how the channel grows. So I appreciate your support. Have a wonderful November, and I'll speak to you soon.